Hi everyone again. I'm Zalim. So before we start a bit of topics, it's just reminder that you shouldn't use all caps when write WebAssembly Wasm specifically. Does anyone know why? Okay. So. Here is what WebAssembly specification saying about that. Um, uh, a construction of WebAssembly, not an acronym, hence not using all caps. Yeah, that's easy. Don't do it. Another off-topic is here is Cody. It is Kotlin's mascot. You can catch beautiful Kodi and Kotlin pins and stickers at the entrance where you get badges, and there is a community sticker table nearby Nginx table. So don't miss, grab it. And finally, we can start. So yeah, I'm Zalim. I'm working on Kotlin and WebAssembly toolchain at JetBrains, and today I want to share how you can compile your Kotlin code to WebAssembly and run it almost everywhere. Actually, I'm going to cover a bit more than just compile and run Kotlin and WebAssembly. Before we start a bit of context, I think it's important. So you may know JetBrains is a company making tools for developers, like IDEs for different languages like Java, Rust, C++, and many others, and many team tools like issue tracker, CI, and others. And of course, programming language Kotlin created by JetBrains. So let's move. Compile once, run everywhere. Sounds familiar, right? Right. It's like famous slogan of Java, write once, run anywhere. But I think this time with WebAssembly in general, we could do it better. We have to do it better than Java did it. Let's look at what Kotlin and WebAssembly could offer today. Starting from first part, yeah, we have a nice and modern programming language, Kotlin. It's well known for its built-in null safety, turns the billion-dollar mistake into a compile time check. It's yes, of course, it's tightly typed and use automatic memory management. It's managed to be concise, expressive, and at the same time stay readable. You may know Kotlin have multiple compilation targets like JVM, which widely used on server side along with Java, and it's widely used on Android as well. There is various native sub-targets like iOS, Linux, and others, and JavaScript and WebAssembly. You can share your code between all these supported platforms. At the same time, you can write platform-specific code when you need it. I personally love how Kotlin is pragmatic. Also, there is a lot of fun in Kotlin. Believe me. So sounds good, but there is a bunch of languages also targeting WebAssembly. Why should you consider Kotlin? Well, basically the answer is Kotlin ecosystem. Kotlin is more than just a language, it's a big ecosystem with a big and friendly community, with support in IDEs, build tools, and so on. There are many libraries developed by JetBrains, developed by community. So speaking about IDE, Kotlin has a great IDE support for all platforms, including WebAssembly. Let's try something. Basically, you have everything you can expect from IDE nowadays, like completion, navigation. You can find usages and so on. And everything works out of the box thanks to predefined declarations for browser APIs. You can easily find APIs you want from browser API. Yeah. Completion. Yeah, when you edit something, you quickly get feedback when you make a typo. Let's now talk about how and where we can run our code. Everyone now, I think, WebAssembly originally developed for browsers and looks like it's still the most popular environment for WebAssembly. With Kotlin Wasm, we can easily work with browser APIs and other JavaScript libraries, thanks to JavaScript interop. But for web application development, we actually offer something better. It is composed multi-platform, cross-platform UI framework, allowing sharing code between different UI code between different platforms, desktop, Android, iOS, and browsers. Inside browser, it uses Kotlin Wasm. So the main benefit of using WebAssembly for Compose applications is performance. According to Compose benchmarks, Kotlin Wasm version is about 2 times faster than just JavaScript version. On these benchmarks, it's still slower than Kotlin JVM, but there is a big room for improvements, and I personally believe it's possible to achieve near to JVM performance. And even now, in some number crunching micro benchmarks, Kotlin Wasm shows performance comparable to JVM. So any Kotlin Wasm applications could be run inside most of major browsers nowadays. It's Chrome and Chromium-based browsers. There is enough support in Firefox as well. Lately, we get updates in WebKit. So right now, WebKit nightly builds also able to run even complex WebAssembly applications, Kotlin Wasm applications. It doesn't work in Safari, but since Safari is built on top of WebKit, it may get official support in foreseeable future. Unfortunately, there is no open roadmap for that. Who knows? Just cross fingers. So how about outside of browser cases? You know, WebAssembly are not limited by browser use cases, and there are a lot of projects using WebAssembly outside of browsers. We think it has a big potential outside of browser. On server side, specifically, we believe in Lambda-like cases like workers, edge computing, and so on. So a few months ago, we introduced a built-in support for WASI Preview 1. It's available from Kotlin 1.9.20. Right now, we're working on component model support and going to switch to WASI Preview 2 as soon as possible. To run Wasm binaries compiled from Kotlin Wasm, Wasm virtual machine must have Wasm GC support, and nice to have exception handling proposal. Because of that, list of compatible VMs are limited now. Basically, it's works well in Dena, in Node.js, in upcoming version Node.js. Wasm GC will be turned on by default. It will be released at the end of April. There is standard Wasm VMs working on Wasm GC support as well. It looks like Wasm Edge going to release basic Wasm GC support very soon. There is Wasm Time, which also recently reported there is progress with Wasm GC support, and Wammer also has some implementation of Wasm GC and exception handling proposals in branches. It's it's hard to develop complex applications without debug capabilities, and we are working on improving debugging Wasm over Kotlin sources. It's already possible to debug code using browser dev tools, and of course, it works in our various IDEs like IntelliJ IDEA. Let's check it out. I'm doing something here, and if our internet connection allow us to do something. One second. Let's try once more. It's more? No? Okay, our internet connection doesn't allow doing me required stuff. Let's try. Okay, let's just walk images. So yeah, it's basically works inside IntelliJ IDE. You can put breakpoints. It also works inside our new modern IDE called Fleet. Now it's possible to set breakpoints, stepping over lines. Also is possible. Recently we did a lot of improvements around stepping, and these improvements will come with the next Kotlin version. You can inspect object structures and stack traces. Right now, it shows objects as Wasm structures. We want to have a more readable views by default, closer to original code, and special representation in some cases, like strings and collections. The level of debugger for JVM languages in our IDEs is very high, and ultimately we want to provide the best debug experience for Kotlin Wasm as well. So how you can try Kotlin Wasm today? The easiest way to try Kotlin Wasm is using our online playground. Another way is checking out our repository with different examples, starting from different browser examples, finished by Node.js and YZ examples. Also, you can create a new project using our web-based wizard. WebAssembly is powerful technology. With a great future, I think, and it's a feature of building web applications with Kotlin. Our ultimate goal with Kotlin Wasm is providing the best end-to-end experience from writing code to final actions, whatever you want to do, is it run, debug, or testing, and it should work everywhere, not just compile and run. We need something more from start of your application, writing, navigation, everything, and finishing by debugging, testing, everything. So yeah, that's it. Give Kotlin Wasm a try. You can find me in social networks by last name. Don't hesitate to ask any question about Kotlin and WebAssembly in general. Thank you for your time. I'm happy to answer questions if you have any. Please, questions? Yeah.
Wasm is faster than JVM. Could you reveal about what kind of
Could you repeat from the start?
Yeah, so you've said that on some workloads, on some benchmarks, micro benchmarks, Wasm shows better performance than JVM. Could you reveal about what kind of micro benchmarks you've tested?
It's different micro benchmarks, like I don't know, calculating prime numbers, or you know, this Ackermann formula, with heavily recursive and couldn't be easily optimized. I don't know, comparing to Fibonacci, and at this Ackermann number calculating also we see performance close to JVM.
Yeah, thanks, that's cool.
I have another question.
Yep.
So yeah, thanks for the presentation. I'm just wondering, I know that Kotlin native has the garbage collection built in, right? The reference count in garbage collection, and what type of memory management do you support in Kotlin Wasm? What type of allocators? How efficient it is?
Right, Kotlin native right now using classical garbage collection techniques. In case of Kotlin Wasm, we decide don't use own garbage collection in many reasons. First of all, it's when you use your own garbage collector, your memory manager, it definitely increases your size of your final binary. In current Wasm core, it's impossible to make your garbage collection because you don't have it. It's impossible to make your own garbage collection which will be performant enough because you don't have, for example, direct access to stack. You need to have shadow stack, and it costs something. Another reason is integration with platform. When you have own garbage collector or memory manager, and you have some external world with own memory manager, these memory managers should interact somehow. Otherwise, you can easily get cycle references, and it will lead to leaks. So that's yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Right now, we use the Wasm GC proposal, as I mentioned. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the talk. Is the debugger available even outside of Kotlin?
We don't use something specific for Kotlin here. Basically, we use JavaScript debugger, JavaScript debugging infrastructure inside our IDs. So if your language could be debugged inside browser dev tools, likely in some minor maybe steps you can achieve same things for your language. It's about basic support, but next steps like better variable views, better stack traces, these features will require some understanding about your target language. So these features probably will be Kotlin specific, not because we don't want support it for other languages. At final day, JetBrains supports many languages, not Kotlin only.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other question? Here's the question. While we are waiting, I actually managed to run and stop debugger. Yeah, you can see here stack traces with some internal details. We want to improve it. Yes, please.
Is the Wasm module, or whatever you call it, only available for the web part of Kotlin, not server?
Sorry, could you rephrase it?
Would it be possible to compile Kotlin as a server?
Yeah, sure. We have dedicated WASI target for Kotlin Wasm to the main goal of this target is remove dependency on JavaScript environment. So basically it's pure WebAssembly. We implement some basic standard library things using WASI APIs. And when we get finally some standalone VMs with Wasm GC support, you'll be able to run binaries generated by Kotlin Wasm with specific WASI target. We don't have pure Wasm target because it seems like when you speak about usages outside of browser, in most cases, it feels like you always have WASI. You need some API to make something useful. So WASI provide you these APIs. So we just limited it to WASI target for outside of browsers and Wasm.js target for browser cases. Maybe not just browser cases, environments where you have JavaScript environment.
So is it correct to assume that it would remove the interoperability with the Java?
We don't have a specific plan for direct interop with Java in case of Kotlin Wasm.
Yeah.
We have beautiful Kotlin JVM with probably greatest interop with Java in JVM platform. We expect in case of interop with languages Java or other languages, we actually more expect component model itself will help us to interop with different languages. So right now we more bet on component model. We believe what component model next big things, and it is important part of WebAssembly community.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question. Any other questions? Okay, looks like that's it. Thank you, everyone.